And good evening. This is the Weekly Bazaar, and I am Shane Shebsey, and with me tonight are
Alex
Lucy
Whiteley.
Your Card. I knew you'd do that.
Fuck's sake.
And with me tonight are Lucy Your Card.
Hello.
Orchard, sorry. And Alex Whiteley. How are you
Yo.
this evening, guys?
Ladies
Very
first.
well, darling.
Yeah?
I'm doing really well. That was breathtaking.
It was until all the timing went to cock.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Hello, Weekly Bazaarers. I think I'd like to just say thanks for all the support everyone sent me over the last couple of weeks because of the passing of my cat. But my Weekly Bazaar, my USOC brothers have been absolutely amazing. And, well, you know, one of us has got to be soppy per bloody episode, haven't we?
We all have moments, Lucy.
What I love about me and Lucy is she rang me up. We always, now and again, we'll have a good 2 hour long natter on the phone at night while I'm at work, you know. And she rang me up and she didn't mention the cat once. We were just chatting about funny things. And that's the best thing, is that we just chatted about everything else. We had a good laugh, which is good. It's nice. We love you.
He didn't mention the fact I was half bottle of gin in.
Yeah, and she was like, "Have you fucking food? Have you food? Yeah, you bastard! Get your food." That's a shout out to a story we were going to cover about a drunken lady from Falkirk. She was in a kebab shop. She smashed the place up, but we were like, let's not cover that because it'll get Alex on to do an accent. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
We won't cover the story, but we will cover the accent.
Do the accent and forget the story. Yeah, good one.
And this week's episode is coming to you live on YouTube, not live, but it's on YouTube as well. So we're going to remember not to pick our noses and you know, swear at the wife as she walks past or anything, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, who's
said about that better?
We are here to talk about the most bizarre news that we've found sort of trending at the moment, and we've got a few stories for you. Who wants to start off today? Who's got a good story they want to start off with? I'm going to give it some of the
I'll
choice.
take it.
Okay.
You want Lucy?
Lucy seems very keen now. Let her roll.
It's just. I love when fact becomes fiction. So we've got from an American news website, CNN, which means complete newsy news. And it says all 50 states have issued warnings about those mysterious packages of seeds. I mean, the person, Harmy Kaur, the journalist, first of all, love, there's 52 states, I thought.
That's 50.
No?
50?
I thought there's 52, yeah.
I thought there was a Samuel Jackson or something film. That had 50.
Yeah.
It's called 52 states because that's where I take my information from. Like, don't make me Google this, you know? And it says all 50 states have now issued warnings about mysterious unsolicited packages of seeds that people from across the nation have received in the mail in recent weeks. The packages appear to be coming from China. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, photos shared by state agriculture departments show packages marked with labeling from China Post, which operates the official postal service of China. Well, that's a long sentence. China Post, guess what they do? Post Office for China. Some of the labels also indicate that the packages contain jewellery, although inside is typically a package of seeds in clear plastic packaging. Now, what has blown my mind, I will go further on, but there's a picture. And it's, you know, when you get sort of plastic, and I know I have to use the word plastic a lot in this, and people can mock me because I say it with an R, not an A. I say plastic, not plastic. But it's just, you know, those little packets that you'd be able to maybe have sauce in about that size, and it's got the sort of serrated edge that you can just peel. But if you look at them, they look like orange seeds. That's my imagination. I can see orange pips. And the minute I saw this, well, it's obviously the 5 Orange Pips story from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, where Sherlock Holmes had to investigate people who were getting random packages of orange pips sent to them in the post, and then they were being killed.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
They do look like orange pips as well.
Exactly. I mean, the fact is, there must be about 30 or 40 in there. But if it was 5, I would be looking over my shoulder every minute of every day. Because in the story from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, it was the KKK that was sending it. And every time somebody got it, next thing, they were just killed. And it wasn't until he managed to sort of solve it on the last one that he managed to he took on the KKK. But yeah, I mean, come on. You get orange pip sent in the post, you'd be like, I'd
Call Sherlock.
They'd be gaffer taping the windows. Be like kitten crawling down the hallway so that no one can see me from the windowsill.
It's just not wise to do this day and age. You know, there's a pandemic. People are very nervous about what they get for the post right now. You know, some people are debt-holding like Amazon boxes. It's crazy. So sending seeds for the post is not a wise thing to do.
Well, I thought like, what's the result in this? You know, what is your gain by sending somebody some seeds? Okay, so the spokesperson for China's foreign minister said at a briefing on Tuesday that the address labels were forged, and that China Post has asked UPS, have said, like, send us these packages and let's have a little looky-loo. That's investigation. Then it says it's not clear who's behind the packages or what their intent is, but the leading theory is they're part of a brushing scam. Well, what's a brushing scam?
Obviously to do with Basil.
I know. Yeah, you know my feeling on bloody foxes. Right, when third-party sellers, genetic fucking criminals. Right, when third-party sellers send people items they didn't order and write glowing product reviews on their behalf. So, somebody I used to know tried to buy some shoes that he bought ages ago, and he couldn't believe he'd found them online, and they were really good price. And I goaded him to buy 2 pairs because you'll regret it. And what got sent through the post like after a month and a half was just a shoe box with, well, your mum wouldn't even have bought these shoes off the market in the 80s. They were, they should have been called like for shoes because they were faux shoes. But the thing is, on the argument, when you try to take them to court, they'll say, well, you bought shoes, we sent you shoes. So that's how they do it. But it's like when they send items they didn't order. So this must be what brushing scams. But then it says at this time we don't have any evidence indicating this is something other than a brushing scam. But people receive unsolicited items from a seller who then post false customer reviews to boost post. If you are receiving an unsolicited item, do they mean that they've done a switcheroony, or is this you walk along one day and you receive something you didn't want? Because that's what unsolicited to me is.
Yeah, it means you don't know you're going to get it. It's not been like no forewarning. Yeah, so
if you ordered a really expensive bike off me and I sent you a really like a secondhand battered and like 20-year-old bike, that is not an unsolicited item. You did want a bike. I just defrauded you on it.
Yeah, it's just not the item you ordered. It's not unsolicited.
Exactly. These are not the orange pips you're looking for.
Maybe they ordered apple pips. I don't know.
I know. But, I mean, it just seems a lot of effort because if exactly, you'd have to be ordering something. Maybe you ordered something that was orange.
I mean, I can just imagine that if it's like, I don't know where it's from, if it's from Wish or Amazon or something like that, but imagine being the guy that's done this now and they're talking about it on the Weekly Bazaar. You'd be like, oh, well, that was a good idea, wasn't it? Like, maybe
that's all he wanted. Maybe he just wanted, notoriety. He just wanted, people to know about him.
My gift.
Yeah. Sitting there going, there I am. I'm famous now because I sent some seeds in the post.
It is freaky, though. It is freaky, in this day and age.
Very strange. It is very strange.
But they put a list of things to do. What should you do if you get a package? And not one of these points say ring Sherlock Holmes. So it says contact your state plant regulatory office or APHIS state plant. Maybe that's DEFRA. I think they're trying to get that be our version. Keep the packaging and mailing label intact. Don't open the packets of seeds or plant them. I mean, come on. We've all read the Beanstalk. I can't speak today. I mean, if they're not seeds to say you're going to die, then my next thought would be that they are for a magic beanstalk. That's what I would do. Don't put them in the trash. They could end up in a landfill. So basically, if you put them in the trash, or rubbish, as they should say, that's just a slower way of planting them in a landfill.
Yeah. Although I don't know how well they'll grow in a landfill, in the UK.
I don't know, man. You get some landfill workers got access to golden goose eggs. Like now, you could have had them. and an automatic harp. That's not a risk I'd want to take. I'm planting those motherfuckers as soon as I get them. Sorry.
I mean, if you're not into like classical mystery books, you'd probably be spooked out. But for me, I would be absolutely fascinated and enthralled by this.
It can't be hard, though, to trace these things back. If you think about it, if it's got like a batch number on it, or it's got like a date of when it was sent out, and you go back to the distribution center and you work out who was working there, who was on what area of the factory or whatever, and who was on at that time in those shifts. It's not hard. We've got down to 12 people. Who's the most mischievous motherfucker out of 12 people? Oh, it's Larry. It's always fucking Larry,
Larry again, isn't it? Larry, have you been sending his seeds again? Oh, I'm bored.
so in other words, fuck Sherlock Holmes. I've just solved the mystery. Yo, Alex, man of mystery. Shane, I want you to go next because I've got a story.
All right.
I'm going to shoot the story
talking
down.
Talking of suspicious packages.
Oh yeah.
A man who had a new penis grown on his arm after his first one fell off due to a blood infection has waited 4 years for it to be transferred to the right place.
Now, look, I've heard of bingo wings, but actual bingo marker wings. Imagine just putting ink on it and being bingo and be like, Bob.
Yeah, imagine walking around with a knob on your arm.
House. That's what I mean.
It could have been worse. It could have been on his head, I suppose. So Malcolm McDonald, 45, became the first man in the world to undergo the £50,000 NHS-funded procedure, but delays have meant his new penis has remained stuck on his arm. That must have created some very interesting situations.
I found
the mechanic
to put in my hand occasionally that I didn't know that they're there.
Yeah. But is it grafted surgically? That's the question. I mean, he's a mechanic as well. Ooh, that's a bit risky, isn't it? So the mechanic from Norfolk threw his old appendage in the bin after suffering a long-term perineum infection. Which caused it to turn black and drop off in 2000.
You know where that is, don't you?
Oh, poor bastard.
Do you mean the perineum?
Perineum, that's what I said.
The bit between the...
Yeah,
it
got infected.
The and the boo-boo.
Yeah, got infected, apparently. He told The Sun...
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I didn't realise we were going to such academic literature.
It is actually a Metro story, I should point out.
Yeah, it is a Metro.
He told The Sun...
Sorry.
Yeah. He told The Sun he felt like a shell of a man for 2 years and turned to alcohol and became reclusive, but found new hope when he heard doctors might be able to reconstruct his manhood. He said, of course this is mad, having a penis on your arm. Not even I am used to it. What sort of guy is he where he would say, not even I am used to it? But when you think about it, it's actually amazing. I mean, I suppose...
Yeah, actually.
It's like, there's certain advantages to having it on your arm, I suppose. Makes it a little bit more sort of, interesting what positions you can do it in and stuff.
It takes tank tops out of your wardrobe, absolutely.
Yeah, does he have a little sleeve for it?
Pocket. I think this is actually a really nice story. This guy...
It's sweet, isn't it?
He lost his manhood, the one thing that most guys always like to play with, and he's lost that, and he's got it back. I mean, this is the future. If you're not happy with your little maybe you can grow a new one on your arm. That's a bit more of an improved version, and you can swap it.
problem is having to carry it, wear it on your arm for 4 years, isn't it?
But I know that some men wear their heart on their sleeve.
Yeah. But now they're wearing their penis on their arm. Yes, indeed. Very good.
Brilliant.
Lucy.
I would absolutely have this thing on my head, though. I would just be like, look at this guy. I would. Mate, telling you now, I would have this thing out to show. I'd be like, yo, look at it. Just look at it. Oh my God, the attention you get. You'd be the most popular guy in the crowd. I'd be like, look at this. Look at this. The money you can make. You could be like a world famous like comedian. Oh my God, it'd be crazy. Absolutely.
I'd probably go for the triple tit.
The triple tit, like Total Recall. Yeah. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, the doctor explained the grafting procedure and at the time said it would need to stay on the arm for 2 years before it could eventually be moved to his groin. The operation saw surgeons take a skin flap from Malcolm's left arm and roll it to form a penis, in inverted commas, with its own blood vessels and nerves. That's pretty amazing.
I know,
actually.
it's amazing.
They then
really creepy.
It is, isn't it? They then created a urethra and installed 2 tubes inflated with a hand pump, allowing him to have a mechanical erection.
RESPECT. Find out. Did you say urethra?
Oh, very good. Is that how you say it? Urethra?
It's urethra.
Urethra. Put some effort into that, then. It's urethra.
If you're Welsh, it sounds very Welsh, doesn't it? Urethra. Yeah.
Wow.
I like this. He requested, I get this, he requested that doctors added an extra 2 inches to his newly grown penis and was so pleased with the results, he's nicknamed it Jimmy. Fantastic. Oh, so he's better off now than he was before. It's 2 inches longer.
I mean, fair play that he thought of asking, because most people in that situation would just be happy with what they got.
You could just
But
imagine
the fact
him.
he was like, whilst you were there, you couldn't, you couldn't just add a couple. You could just add a couple of them.
Cheers, mate. Yeah.
Well, when they're just taking like random folds of skin off his arm, he could be like, how long's his arms, for Christ's sake? He could be like, yo, just do it all the way down to the sleeve.
They just rolled it, haven't they? And then made it into a penis. It's like,
I imagine life is still
weird.
going to be uncomfortable for him, because it's going to be like,
well, he's got to pump it up to get
1 second.
Erection.
You gotta pump it up, pump it.
It gives a whole new meaning to the word foreplay, doesn't it?
But one of the
could you just pump it up for us?
One of the first erectile dysfunction ways of doing it was to put the balloon inside the shaft and have it pumped up. That is not new.
I think they use it for people who've had, cancer in the gland. I can't remember what it's called. The gland in the bum. It causes the erection.
It's
prostate. That's it. Yeah.
Race then.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on this week's Name That Gland. This week's winner.
Next week we'll be talking about mammary glands.
Oh, I found you beat me to it again.
To finish this off, I mean, it's all well and good having an inflatable penis.
Sorry.
Until you hear bang, you're like you're at it, and he's like bang inside, and it's over.
Oh.
You just imagine
he's finished.
I just need to go to the toilet, love. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, John Wayne Bobbitt, he's famous. He's now a porn star.
Yeah. He had his old one put back on, didn't he? Didn't she cut it off? And then he's like got it, took it to the hospital, and they put it back on. I think. I'm not sure.
He's probably made enough to buy a house on it now. So I mean, overall, when there are problems like this, it's nice to know there's a happy ending.
Oh, we're full of innuendos today, aren't we?
Your endo.
Yay!
Okay, moving on. My first story today. Do you remember a story we covered a while back with I've forgotten the guy's name, but he had an obsession with flip-flops, and he would he would do things to them, and he would collect them, and he got caught with hundreds of pairs of flip-flops and shoes. Well, a similar crime is being committed in Germany. Now, when I first read this, I thought, oh, he's fucking up to it again. He's just moved country, hasn't he? I was like, these flip-flops go missing in Zellendorf in Germany. But the perpetrator has been found. A fox in a leafy suburb of Berlin has been getting into the spirit of summer by collecting
What have I said?
flip-flops.
What have I said? What have I said?
I saw this story and I thought Lucy is gonna love this. I think she's gone as well. She's like, you know what, fuck you guys.
You foxes.
Yeah, I should turn the camera.
I wonder if the fox.
What
also,
I said about having genetic criminals on this show. Get them out of our podcast. I don't like them in my garden. I don't like them in my podcast.
I had to. I'm sorry. That's a sacrifice we had to make. We did a flip-flop thieving story. How often do you hear flip-flop? In fact, I saw this and I thought it was of the same story. I thought he'd moved to Germany. But for weeks, residents in Zellendorf were baffled that a thief was stealing their flip-flops and sports shoes from their gardens at night.
Does this end with the fox being shot?
Finally, a man spotted the culprit on a patch of wasteland in Flagrante, carrying 2 blue flip-flops in his mouth.
Does he shag him as well, like that bloke did?
I absolutely believe so, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Why do I think that the guy who stole them only stole them in ones?
Don't know. Maybe he did.
Pairs?
I don't know. He had a collection, didn't he? They had a photo of all his flip flops all lined up. I think they were singles. I'm not sure.
I thought the fox had more. Well, maybe the fox is planning on reselling them.
Maybe it's a double act. Maybe they share one each. Fox has one.
That's the weirdest sloppy second setup I've ever heard of.
It says here that the fox had a hoard of over 100 shoes, but not the man's missing 100 pairs of shoes, 100 shoes, should I say. The man had suspected it might be a fox after raising the matter on a Neighborhood Watch website and getting complaints from other locals about a missing pair of shoes or one missing shoe. Lots of. Oh, I've seen this story before. You should see the picture. I can't find it right now. Where is it gone? There was a picture on this website of his collection of shoes. I will share it on the Facebook page, and you can see.
That's pretty cool.
It's naughty little fox, and I'm sorry, Lucy. I didn't do that to you on purpose.
What does a fox say?
Yeah, sorry.
Where's your shoes, mate?
That's what he says. Yeah. Cute little story, and it reflects back to something we talked about earlier. Lucy, have you got another story for us just to wash your mouth out on that last one?
When you see a story and you think, I can't wait to tell you about it, and then you see the names of the people involved and you think, I can wait to pronounce these. Oh man, it's a really great story, and I've just read it and I thought I'm gonna have to take a run up at these names because I'm an idiot. So schoolgirls, sisters, come on, schoolgirls in India discover an asteroid headed straight for Earth. But I mean, we've discussed this. They usually are on their way in. They sort of then swerve as they get here. It's sort of like asteroids like to play chicken with the Earth, and we always win because we're still here making podcasts.
Yeah.
So 2 teenage girls from India have discovered an Earth-bound asteroid by poring through images from a University of Hawaii telescope, an Indian Space Education Institute said on Monday. The asteroid is presently near Mars, and its orbit is expected to cross that of Earth in about 1 million years' time, said Space India. A private institute where the 2 14-year-old girls received training. And I like this because also it breaks down that idea that, it's all bloody Slumdog Millionaire over there. It's not, It's nice to hear about these 2 girls getting a fair crack of the whip. I look forward to when we get a chance to name the asteroid, said Federi Vacaria.
I like it. He's got a temper.
Who added that
Hard
she
to
wants
say.
to become an asteroid.
But
An asteroid. She wants to become an asteroid. She wants to become an astronaut when she is older. The asteroid currently, with one of those catchy bloody names,
Area.
Videri Vicaria. Oh, Gremlin's coming from Shane, unless it's from me.
I know, it's definitely from Shane.
Just Shane. He's probably got his phone charging in another room or another house. The asteroid, currently called HLV 2514, may officially be christened, but only after NASA confirms its space orbit. Now, what I love about this is the fact that as soon as I started becoming a long-distance lorry driver, I was thinking, when you parked up, there can be long periods of boredom. And I immediately downloaded the Zooniverse app. Do you know about this Zooniverse app? So you sit through image after image after image of data from space telescopes. And if you can see a cluster that's worth looking at, you flag it. So you're almost like you're the sieve of images so that the bigger people that know what they're doing can look through it. You just look at there's nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's something, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing. There's something, and I'd love to do it, and I've always wanted to do it, and I've got the app, and I signed up, but I've never done it.
And then a police officer's like, all right, mate, you messing with your phone while you're driving? I am trying to help the universe.
I am trying to solve the problems of the fucking universe.
Yeah. I read the story too, Lucy, and what I got about it was it is a Simpsons plot. It is another Simpsons plot.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it is. Where Bart finds the asteroid.
We love you, Alex.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Simpsons proving us right over and over all the time.
Well, first of all, what's nice to hear about it is it's two young girls. Second of all, it's that they were given this opportunity through their sort of space program. And the third is that we actually heard about it and the man didn't just take their credit and never let them see light of day.
What I love about this
is unusual, isn't it?
This guy's probably been doing this his whole life. Hey, girls, I've been looking for this telescope. I nearly did the accent. I'm not doing that today. I'm a changed guy. I am a changed guy. Okay.
So much looking forward to you doing that accent, Alex.
It's not happening.
Although you can do the Hawaiian accent if you want. The telescope's in Hawaii. So crack on with that one if you want.
That's a strange one because it's that's an odd one. But no, anyway, this guy's been looking at his telescope for probably his life, and he's gone, go on, girls, have a go. I've never found anything, but off you go. And they've gone at this, they looked at it and they've gone, yeah, we're going to die.
By lunchtime, they'd already found an asteroid heavier than the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Beautiful story. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
That's a great story. I love that. I mean, like you said, it's probably going to swerve off and fuck off somewhere else. But either way, we've got a million years to sort our shit out, right?
Yeah. Or it could change its orbit and hit us on the next pass. You never know.
We'll probably be living on Mars then anyway. They've sent a helicopter there.
I'll have 3 tits by then.
I'll have a knob on my arm. Hey.
And I'll have Romulan eyebrows.
He'll have one on his forehead.
Look at the wiggle, guys. Look at the wiggle. Ooh. Oh, God, I got it in my drink. Oh. Yeah, they sent a new Mars rover to Mars. And it's a drone.
Oh, was that what launched the other day? Was it a new rover, was it?
Yeah, but it's a drone.
I heard about the launch, but I didn't. Yeah.
So there's going to be a helicopter in orbit of Mars. That's cool. I mean, if it lands, of course. Fingers crossed, though. That'd be amazing.
Back to my girls solving stuff. Come on.
Sorry.
Come on.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had something else. Sorry.
No, you were just rambling off. You were going back to talking about bloody launches and stuff. Either congratulate my girls or move on to the next story.
I have that NASA is actually full of amazing women. There's a lot of women at NASA that do amazing things. I watched a lot to do with like the Juno launch and when it first got to Jupiter and stuff. And most of the people talking about that were women. So that was a great thing to do. Right, on to a change.
We can stay on a science fiction sort of tack. So, yes, I'm sure you're all familiar with the film Robot Jocks or Pacific Rim, perhaps.
Pacific Rim, yeah. What a film.
Pacific
Not the
Rim,
second
what
one.
a title. What a title. Well, it's no longer science fiction. So an anime, a giant 60-foot anime robot has taken its first steps, at least sort of. Designed after the popular Gundam robot from multiple TV series and manga, this is by far the largest robot ever created. And there is a picture of it. I assume we'll put it on the Facebook, Alex.
Yes,
it is cool. And it looks just as awesome as we'd imagined. The massive robot currently in construction in Gundam Factory, Yokohama, Japan, is seen lifting and towering its legs in preparation for its debut in October 2020, although that may be postponed due to the ongoing pandemic, unfortunately. People in cranes are seen whizzing about the robot, tweaking moving parts as they carry out mechanical testing. This appears to be a preliminary test with no weight put on the legs, but whilst it may not be ready to fight supervillains just yet, it looks well on its way to full independent walking. That's like a 60-foot robot that can walk around. We're screwed, man. Gundam Factory Yokohama has been working on the robot since January with the aim of providing the spectacle of a 60-foot, 25-ton walking robot. The robot will feature articulated fingers, 24 degrees of freedom. 24 degrees of freedom. That sounds like a political statement.
It does,
and the ability for its huge weight, adding to Japan's impressive robotics records.
The designer of this was born in the 70s or the 80s, because look at the colouring. That is Optimus Prime without a head.
I was thinking Starscream, but of course the Gundam robots predate the Transformers, don't they? You know, the Japanese robot stories from anime, they've been around. I mean, I don't know if anybody remembers Robotech, which was another sort of jets with legs sort of cartoon, which was awesome. And they did do a comic recently about Robotech as well. So they've been doing stuff like this for a lot. It's like ingrained into the culture, into the popular culture, you know. So the robot resides just outside of Tokyo in the port of Yokohama, where it will stay for a year. It is already a technical marvel, and we're incredibly excited to see it in full operation. I mean, I just can't wait. I just think.
So what do we need? We need like a Mr. Manhattan or something. What do we need to counteract this? What?
Water.
Yeah, a big monster. Yeah, a big like Godzilla type monster to fight it.
All we need actually in the UK is snow, because obviously that fucks everything up for us. We get snow here and everyone's like, we're done for. That's
the end. That's the end.
So.
You guys won't have seen it, but Take That did a big tour called Progress, and they had a massive robot as part of it.
I did see it, actually.
And as I've said before, I was a truck driver for the music industry, and I met the truck driver that actually was in charge of transporting that robot. And it was famous because the robot's hand would sort of come down, sort of almost like, you know, like take the pebbles grasshopper, that kind of handshake. Yeah. And I think it was Howard Donald would get in the hand and it would sway left and right, but it kept getting stuck. And Howard would be stuck in a robot hand. And I just remember meeting the truck driver and he was like, oh, that was
me. The robot's like, not take that, take this. Take that, take this, take that. Oh,
yeah. But this robot, the amazing thing about it is it supports its own weight. It's like all the massive robots that have been made before have been like puppets. You know, they've been suspended and they've moved. So there's no illusion that it's supporting its own weight. But apparently this robot can actually walk on its own two legs. So that is, as far as I know, a robot of that scale. It's a first, you know.
It's bizarre. Amazing. That's what it is.
I just can't wait for the battles. It'll be great. You could end all war. We could just say, right, from now on, we're going to have, just like in Robot Jocks, we could say we're just going to fight our wars by two champions in a giant robot. Oh, and you can all watch it on TV. It'd be great, wouldn't it?
That would be the best.
Yeah. Or we need 5 Power Rangers.
I think they can all join up, and yeah.
I just think it's great to see, because like There's so much shit going on in the world right now. You're like, we need a cure for
Right,
COVID.
Alex,
We need a
it's
cure
great
for
to
world hunger."
see the way 2020 is going, and you want somebody making a 60-foot fucking robot right now.
I would rather go out by a 60-foot robot than die of COVID-19. I'll tell you that right now.
It's 50-50 at the moment now.
And to be fair, like robotics is nowhere near what it needs to be. I mean, there are the hunter dogs that they're making.
Oh, they're spooky, aren't they? I was watching a video of those. Yeah, it's just the way they walk.
Yeah,
You know, like that animalistic walk that they've got. Obviously, they've been designed on animals, and they're fantastic, though.
You can kick them on the side and they'll just get up. They're amazing. Like the walk.
Well, are they robot dogs?
Well, they're like a dog. They've got 4 legs, and they've got really advanced sensors and AI, so they can work out how to pick things up, how to negotiate
the
stairs.
transformer that comes out of the VHS flip.
Like Ravage, yeah.
You explain it clearer. Do you know what I mean? Use English.
and as well, it can run on biomass. So it can eat.
So it's been encouraged. It's been. This is the worry.
I need to learn how to be entertaining when these things freezes. So what happens is my internet's so bad that this is frozen right now, and these guys don't realize. So they carry on having this amazing conversation, and they don't realize I've left the conversation until it goes beep boom, and I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and we were just talking about man-eating robots. What a great time to leave a Zoom chat. And I'm back in the room.
Hey, he's back.
No one knew, Alex. We covered perfectly.
I won't get what you guys said. I'll only get what I said. And last week when I edited this, I was just like, "What the fuck, love? Have you seen this shit? Like, it's done it again." So this week I was kind of like, "Hey guys, this is Alex time." I don't have to edit them. So that's great. So yeah, man-eating robots. It's hopefully they don't teach us one in Japan to start eating people. Otherwise,
I don't know how it's fueled. I don't know how that one's fueled.
There's no 60-foot human from to eat on.
Yeah, can you imagine it like? I'm going to meet you. Wait there. I'll get there down there in about 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to cover a story that is it's world famous on the Weekly Bazaar because we're famous for covering one thing and one thing only: sex robots.
Robots in disguise.
More robots. They'll eat you and they'll fuck you.
I love how Lucy and Shane brings us a bit of science to like asteroids and robotics, and I'm just kind of like sex robots.
It's sort of science. Sex science, baby.
This is something I've always been obsessed with, not in a weird way, but I find it interesting how people will go to spend like 20,000-30,000 pounds or dollars or yen or whatever on a fucking lifeless doll and choose to live like that. I think it's very interesting to think about, and they're making so many documentaries and things about it to cover this because it's just bizarre. It really is probably the most bizarre thing we cover on the Weekly Bazaar. And it says here that sex robots could become so convincing, some humans may prefer their company for real people, an author who has studied dolls believes. Author Jenny Kleeman, who recently penned Sex Dolls and Vegan Meat toward What's
the connection between sex dolls and vegan meat?
I don't know, maybe this is the new vegan thing. Like, I don't eat anything that lives and I don't fuck anything that lives.
So they don't like real meat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I ain't eating no woman's private parts.
I don't want to eat pork, I think is the short term.
Yeah, and no bacon.
This guy studied these.
Sorry.
His recent.
The fact is, it also says AI dolls, but I keep reading it as Al.
They're all called Al. That's especially for you, Al.
Yeah.
Especially for Al.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are the best. You are the best. Wow. I love 4 inches. 4 inches is amazing. You good boy. Yeah, no, it's not me.
Sir, put on another Shrewsbury biscuit.
Oh, somebody's shouting. I was doing a vlog with Timmy walking across the bridge in the quarry yesterday because we went to the museum and did stuff, right? And the Sabrina boat, which is famous, goes up and down the river, was going underneath the footbridge. And I was filming the boat while Timmy was waving to it. And as I was filming it, some guy goes, "Cheers, my biscuit." While he was on the
wicked.
boat. And I was like, hello. Anyway,
Fantastic.
Anyway, back to sex robots. It's AI dolls are capable of holding conversations and can memorize details about their human owners. I don't like that. Human owners, that sounds wrong. They are. I know it is factual, but it still sounds wrong. They are also stunningly realistic, using technology so advanced and lifelike that one even sold for $100,000.
Yeah, they do look realistic, but they also look really weird.
Yeah,
like their proportions, and it's like women don't look like that.
If it was that real, it'd be wearing pajamas.
Yeah, if it's realistic, it's like tell you to fuck off. It's got a headache. Yeah, that's convincing that.
This is not, by the way, this isn't the reason why I brought the story up, because we've spoken about this before when Thorskin did the Weekly Bazaar. I talked about this before. This isn't something new. What is new is the studies that are being put into it, because she believes that they have the potential to diminish. Sorry, let me go back. But Kleeman, a journalist and documentary maker, warns there could be repercussions if they become embedded in human life. She believes that they have the potential to diminish our ability to empathize with other humans, representing a challenge to our relationships. Yeah. So Kleeman told, it's the Daily Star, but this is the one story from the Daily Star that I'll actually read and enjoy. When it becomes possible to have a relationship where the only thing that matters is what one half of the partnership wants, where you can have interaction and all that matters is what you want to do and what you fancy doing. And when you become used to having relationships based on something that doesn't have free will, that doesn't have independent ambitions or in-laws or friends you don't like, then going out and having relationships with human beings and using empathy is going to be harder to work. So basically, you're going to get used to spending time with this lifeless plastic thing that is going to actually harm your ability to have relationships, not just necessarily romantic relationships, but genuine relationships with people in the outside world. That's fucking scary.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just left him.
I think it's a good hypothesis. I think that, if you look at, we have relationships with inanimate objects already to a certain extent, don't we? Well, I'm not talking sex toys.
Woman,
I'm talking like your phone,
camera, light.
Like, you become dependent on your phone. People have gone to, they get a lot of emotional integration with their phones through social media. So I think it's, people are already being trained, aren't they, in a way, to not seek out empathy or real relationships. People already are used to dehumanizing other people because of remote connections. So I think that could easily happen, but I don't think it's going to become the norm. I think,
no.
The sort of people who, use sex dolls, they're the same people, I don't think it's going to increase the use of them. I think it'll just mean that those people who do use them will have a more
it's not one of those
satisfying experience, perhaps.
It's not one of those things where someone's a bit cold and they're not brilliant at holding conversations or what have you. It's not one of those things where you turn to your mates and go, "Oh, he's definitely got a sex doll." We're not there yet. We're not there yet. I think there's a very few people that can afford to spend $80,000 on a bloody sex doll.
Yeah.
And it does go on to continue to say, I think the dangers of these robots is the ability to make empathy harder work, because we won't need to use it so much in our relationships with these robots. Human beings are complicated. A relationship with a human being involves compromise. A relationship with a robot does not involve compromise. And if you're used to relationships where you don't have to compromise and you don't have to think of what the other person thinks, you might, for certain, what the fuck? I read that wrong. And you don't have to think what the other person is thinking. You might, for certain kinds of people, spend a lot more time with a robot than you would with real human beings, because it's more hard work to be a human being that you have to compromise and emphasize with. In other words, you will not care. You'll not care.
The thing is, people who... Sorry. Yeah, I think people who empathize anyway, even with robots. I don't know about you, right? But if I'm rude to Alexa, I feel guilty.
I had to leave one of my Pokemon at a gym the other day, and I had attachment issues. I couldn't leave it there.
Yeah, so you imagine a robot that has a level of AI that is actually able to feel and respond to you. I think people who are empathic will still behave in the same way. They'll treat their robot with respect. I think people who are narcissistic,
and at least give it a wash down.
Yeah. I think people who are narcissistic and selfish will just be more narcissistic and selfish with their robots.
Yeah, I mean, there are people
if robots become normal.
There are people that have left relationships with narcissists that probably will now have trust issues with humans, and this might give them company, and they know they're not going to get, physical, mental, verbal abuse or whatever, and that could be fine. But it depends whether or not we're looking at people having these dolls for company or for the sex of time. And for the people that are using these for sex of time, we're probably not comfortable asking a woman or going up to a woman in real life, and therefore this is their way of having something that they don't have to interact with because of shyness, or maybe they're incredibly boring, or they've got anxieties about their appearance or stuff. There are going to be creepy people doing creepy things with anything.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter what you have. There are people doing creepy things with normal things, and we can't stop people doing.
I mean, this guy there's a guy fucking sandals, isn't there? So now he can actually have a woman
the argument as well, when they brought computers and tablets into school, they were worried that kids wouldn't be able to hold a pen anymore, and in a lot of cases that's become true, but that's because education has failed them. It has become a lazy way of teaching, giving them tablets, and also if curriculum states we haven't got to push them to use pens, then that's the way. But with this, I don't think that because they've got a sex doll they won't be able to order a cup of coffee.
I mean, for information, human beings have been using tablets for 2,000 years. So back.
For fuck's sake, really? You're bringing Moses into this?
Fuck you now.
No. So what was I going to say? No. I find myself having to push myself with things like Alexa and Google and stuff. When I'm like something to my phone. To wake it up. If I say it, it'll wake up, and it wakes up, and I'm like, change song, next song. I'm like, I've already done this 4 times. It's gonna be so pissed off at me.
You start humanizing the machine, don't you? It's really easy to do it, and I think that the way we do with animals as well. We anthropomorphize animals and assign human characteristics to them. And why do we build machines that look like humans? Because we want to interact with them like they're people. And will do, and if and it depends what sort of person you are. And like Lucy says, and I think that's what Lucy's saying, is that, we shouldn't judge people who use sex dolls because they have a legitimate reason for why they do it, And at the end of the day, if no one's hurting anyone, I suppose it gets in the near future. I say the near future, maybe the distant future, based on this article, they're saying 20 years. But if a sex doll becomes sentient, and it's got a mind of its own and it's got feelings, and then you're getting into the iRobot area, aren't you? Where you've got to think about the rights of that machine. You've got to treat it with, like you would a person. Then it's,
if somebody's going to go into a relationship where they're paying money to have sex with a human being who may be in a situation who wasn't interested or consensual into being in that situation, so say sex trafficking, etc., like that. If a robot getting abused stops someone getting trafficked, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's $100,000. I mean, you can get the same fucking results with a pair of VR goggles and a greased up marigold. I'm not being funny.
I think we've just discovered the difference between an AI doll and an owl doll.
Yeah.
It's true though. You put those goggles on and you're not even in the room anymore. It's some, 7 and 9 or something.
Mate, wouldn't know. Obviously, you know a lot more about this than I do.
Yeah, this bit's the science of Alex. Go on, Doctor. I'll tell us more.
No, but there are
what
guys
sort of doctor are you?
There are guys out there that do struggle with women, and I found out something new this week. Talking to Dee Dee and to Shane Hinton from The Biscuit. Nice guy syndrome. I didn't know there was such a thing. But these guys are like, Hey, how's it going? I'm a nice guy. Talk to me. I like roses, and they're nice and nice and nice, and until they don't get happy that the woman hasn't responded, and they're like, "Fuck you, bitch! You're gonna burn in hell."
That's called love bombing, and they're called narcissists
Oh my god, it's terrible.
Or assholes.
or ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, there are these guys who think because they're nice, they therefore are entitled to, be successful.
I bought you dinner, therefore you should.
Yeah. But I'm a nice guy, but I don't get laid. It's like, and women don't like nice guys; they like assholes and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, and don't even get me started on incels.
That's the other thing. That's where it leads to. Is that it's just
I think it's gone past being nice or being hot. Just be genuine. Just be a genuine, normal human being.
Look at everyone. Just hashtag be kind.
Yeah. Just interact with women the same as you'd interact with anyone. Obviously you interact slightly different with women than you do with the guys, but women are human beings, isn't that right?
Women are people too, people.
Yeah, women are people, man. And I think the problem is a lot of these guys, they see women as something to, it's a conquest. It's it's an object. It's not a person.
Conquest. Sorry. Sorry, that was just anyway, have we got any more stories from you guys, or is that it? I think
it's time for
Science. Alex.
Right. Forgive me for this story, because this is obviously a video.
Racist. Sorry.
I'm not racist. I haven't actually read through this story yet. I copied and pasted this last week. I saw it. I was like, "Oh, this is sciencey." So if there's big words in there, I am gonna trip up straight away.
Oh, go for it, man. So Lucy's just laughing at my little.
He's not racist. He's our brother.
It's just that's the theme tune to Science with Alex. Science with Alex.
This is quite the article, by the way, I gotta say.
Okay, go, Alex. Come on.
Go on, Alex.
Why divers are venturing deep inside a baffling blue hole. And
we're on the Science with Alex now, aren't we? Not the sex dolls, yeah?
No. Yeah, that was, that's a different range. That's the Avatar range. Sorry. Sorry. Scientists are trying to explore underwater sinkholes called blue holes, sending divers and equipment into a well-known mysterious. What? Why
is it well-known?
Well, it says well-known. It's a well-known mysterious spots off the coast of Florida. How can it be mysterious
if it's well-known?
I know, that's why I was paused. It says that. Scientists are trying to explore underwater sinkholes called blue holes, sending divers and equipment into well-known, mysterious spot off. Okay, so it's a well-known mysterious spot.
What's the word for when something says the opposite in the very
contradictory
next word? Yeah, is it oxymoron?
Oxymoron.
Yeah.
This is off the Florida place of Florida called Green Banana. The sinkhole begins about 150 feet down and extends to more than 400 feet deep. What do these undersea sinkholes mean? And how do they relate to the rest of the ocean? There's only one way to find out. Fight! Sorry. And these researchers are diving head first. Technically, they're entering feet first in accordance with the best scuba practice.
No. Just maybe put a little buoy so you remember the space, or put a little geotag so you can remember it. Not this year. Right, I don't know how I can get this across to people.
If giant monsters come out of there, we've got the giant robots to fight them now.
Not now. Put your robots away. Put all your radiation testing away. Stop going into the caves. Don't go in the sinkholes. This is not the year for it.
I at this point I feel like fuck it. Why not? Why the fuck not? Anyway, the researchers are in the middle of a 3-year project. Why are we just finding out about it now? And they explored nearby Amberjack Hole in 2019. The blue hole is 350 feet deep, making it a great stepping stone before the team attempts the even deeper Green Banana. Sorry, my phone's going crazy.
Turn it on silent. It's the USEC boys.
Yeah. It's.
The team includes scientists from the US Geological Society, Florida Atlantic University, Mote Marine Laboratory, and Georgia Institute of Technology. They're working with financial support from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, otherwise known as NOAA.
That's
good, isn't it?
I prefer GIT for the Georgia Institute of Technology, by the way. GIT.
Yeah. So, in a statement, the NOAA explains why blue holes are both perplexing and important. So they say, little is known about blue holes due to their lack of accessibility and unknown distribution and abundance. The opening of a blue hole can be several hundred feet underwater. And for many holes, the opening is too small. I'm sorry, this is just too much. The opening is too small for an automated submersible. Does this sound like sex, or is it just me? It's just me. Sorry, it's just after that last story. You know. In fact, the first reports of blue holes did not come from the scientists or researchers, but actually came from fishermen and recreational divers. So there you go, blue holes.
Yeah, this is science, right? This is how scientific this hole is, right? In 1970, a captain spotted the peel of an unripened banana floating past, and he named it Green Banana.
Oh.
Got off a different website. I just thought that was brilliant.
Very good, yeah.
So
is your phone working now, Alex?
Yeah, sorry, my phone, everything was going nuts. This is what happens when you get involved with a lot of projects. A lot of people message you at the same time.
Yeah.
This is it's a cool story though. This reminds me of like Titanic. Remember when they were doing all the work on the Titanic and they were sending all the subs down and stuff, and it was all over the TV. That's what this reminds me of. I mean, it's obviously something to do with the Silver Surfer, but you know.
Yeah, man. There's monsters down there, man. Giant monsters are going to come out of there.
There are giant monsters currently sleeping down there. So why are we looking to wake them up? I don't know what I can say that's any clearer.
It says. Sorry, go on.
Go on, mate. You were going to read it, yeah?
How far did you get? Where would you get finished?
I'll carry on, shall I?
Yeah, please.
So
you go on. Go on, Doctor.
For this project, researchers built an item they call a benthic lander. The benthic zone is the sea floor, in this case, or the floor portion of any body of water. The lander is shaped like a triangular prism, and a cage of metal tubing encloses a platform where scientific instruments are mounted. Having 3 landing points makes it stable on more kinds of terrain than, say, a 4-legged or flat-bottomed form factor. The lander weighs 600 pounds and is carefully lowered from the surface. And there is a picture of it there as well, if you wanted to.
It looks like somebody salvaged an old stereo and just gaffer taped it all together and all.
Yeah, it looks like a 1970s TV rack or something.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who's confused? Can you get any kind of prism that's not a triangle? I don't mean to be a child, but triangular prism. Oh, one of those kind of prisms.
Yeah, as opposed to a rectangular prism.
All right, how's it going? I got me one of those round prisms. You know, it's not cylinder. It's a round prism. You know?
You bought it down the Malsters, £5 bob it was.
So there's a little bit more to the story, and then we'll move on. For the human researchers making the dive into amberjack, and now green banana is also a very big deal. Amberjack's opening is at 113 feet down, and green bananas is at 155 feet. The typical scuba certification gets divers comfortable to about 40 feet, past which they must use specialised learning. It's safe and doable, but extensive planning and the potential for danger rules out most vacation divers. So it sounds like a bit of an adventure.
It does.
Go into one of these massive holes.
I do love stuff like this, like these kind of programs that they put on, like Discovery Channel. Like, you know, they were out here 12 months before and the mission failed. So this time it's do or die, you know? They're fascinating. I wonder what they're going to find. I think Japan already know what they're going to find. That's why they're building a 60-foot robot.
Yep. It's in preparation, isn't it? Definitely. I mean, it's interesting to see how they're formed. I'm hoping that, you know, going down there and studying these things will we'll get to understand more about how they are actually formed, where they come from. Because it's quite interesting.
Oh my word!
I popped to another page to see exactly why it was called green banana, right? And I'm loving this, and I'm going to do an accent, right?
Green banana in it,
right. So hang on, what's Florida? Florida. Captain Larry Borden, who is at 73 years old, is still spearfishing out of Bredenton, took divers out to holes years ago. The green banana, he said, had already been heavily fished by the time he found it. It's not even his favourite hole. That distinction, Borden said, is a place called Awesome Springs, which he named decades ago when he dove down and came up shouting.
Oh, fantastic.
The most technical things in, oceanic science. You've got amberjack, you've got green banana and Awesome Springs, and the one was named Green Banana because he saw a green banana near it, and this one's called Awesome Spring because he came up and it was awesome.
That's fantastic how they get named.
I think that's how, especially on the West Coast, that's how a lot of places got their names, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were on these massive journeys and they found somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere Milwaukee, and they're like, what's it called, Chief? Yeah, he messed up. He's like, he's fucked up. He's been eating some shit he found on the ground, drinking lots of rum. He's like,
this is like, welcome to our land, Quavers packet.
Yeah. This story is a hell of an article, so I'm not going to read it all, but it is really interesting. We all know what. Sorry. These messages are important, so
Are you right there, Alex?
Yeah, it's all news about Graham. What's going on with Graham?
Right, focus. We can come on.
The anglerfish. We all know what an anglerfish is, right? Those horrible teeth with the big angular teeth.
Yeah, awesome.
They're amazing, and they have that little dangly bit.
Got the little lamp in front of it, isn't it?
That's right. There, yeah.
Lamp.
Oh, they're just fucking grotesque.
If you can ever, if anyone listening, if you go on the YouTube and look up Aardman, so if you go to Creature Comforts and look up the anglerfish, they are beautiful stop frame animations, and the anglerfish that the Creature Comforts company did were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I got a friend who did something similar to that, but with video game chats. I love Creature Comforts. It was so good. They record people's conversations and then do stop frame animation around those conversations. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah.
But the anglerfish has deleted its immune system to fuse with its mate. Underwater sexual parasitism between a male and female allows two bodies to become one. Now we know the reason why. So this is how they
become one. Spice Girls, right?
Yeah, it was. I was like, let's try not to sing Spice Girls. No, let's try not to do that. Shane straight out the bat, just like to become one. So we've been talking a lot about the male relationships, and how people be with relationships. But the anglerfish is you find that woman and she's yours for the rest of your life, because there are a few animals more bizarre. There are few animals more bizarre than the anglerfish, a species that is has so much trouble finding a mate that when a male and a female do connect underwater, male actually fuse their tissues with the females for life. After the merger, the two share a single respiratory and digestive system. That's amazing. Now scientists have discovered that the anglerfish accomplishes their sexual parasitism because it has lost a key part of its immune system, which then allows two bodies to become one without tissue rejection. How amazing is that?
And it's after it merges, then you find out all he wants to do is watch American Dad like cartoons.
Or he wants to make a podcast, and she's like, for fuck's sake.
Background nodding.
It says here, all vertebrates, including humans, have two kinds of immune systems. The first is the innate system, which responds quickly to attacks by microscopic invaders, which Shane will probably tell you anyway, with a variety of chemicals like mucus, physical barriers like hair and skin, and disease-munching cells called macrophages. Is that right?
Yeah.
The second line of defense is an adaptive system that produces both killer T cells to attack a pathogen and antibodies custom made to fight specific bacteria or viruses. The two systems work together to fight infections and prevent disease. But in a study published Thursday, whenever this was released, in a journal Science, researchers from Germany's Max Planck Institute and the University...
What a great name.
I know, yeah. And the University of Washington found that many anglerfish species, there are more than 300 types of these motherfuckers, have evolved.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Have evolved over time to lose their genes that control their adaptive immune systems, meaning they can't create antibodies and lack those T cells. Anglerfish have traded their immune facilities, which we believe to be essential for this reproductive behavior, says Thomas Boehm, a professor at the Institute's Department of Immune Biology and Epigenetics in Freiburg, Germany, and lead author on the paper. To come to this conclusion, Boehm and his colleagues spent the past 6 years conducting genetic tests on tissue samples of anglerfish taken from around the world. They tried catching them by using deep-sea trawls and collect specimens 1,000 feet below the surface. But because the anglerfish are both rare and elusive, they were unable to collect any live specimens. That's a shame. So to get enough tissue for the genetic analysis, the researchers instead scoured the museum collections and other laboratories that had anglerfish pickled in preservations, some of them decades old. This is fantastic.
It is. This is fascinating. How it's evolved to, not have a secondary immune system that enables it to meld with a mate, and the tissue does not reject. It's just incredible.
I remember seeing a news story ages and ages and ages ago, and it was a husband and wife. They married about 50 years, and because they'd been having intercourse all those years and living together, sleeping in the same bed and being close, the immune system had actually, she was able to give him a kidney and it wasn't rejected. And it was only because they had lived in such proximity, being around the same things and eating the same things, and germs or diseases, they both happened at the same time. And because of that, when you live that close to something, you can become, connected with them. And then it also brings me on to the Simpsons episode where Marge says, well, of course, when I married my husband, I took his DNA.
I recently saw that one. That was so funny. I love stories like this because it's completely alien, isn't it? It is completely alien to anything we understand about relationships and sex and things like that. And these fish are
fascinating.
Yeah. You have to go on proper expeditions, real expensive, dangerous expeditions to find these fish. So that research is just phenomenally.
But are they going to find a cure for COVID down there? Do these fish have anything to do with COVID? Just stop looking for stuff that's
no. But
could be that these guys
you never know. You never know.
Of the universe, and they could turn on us.
There could be some research that uncovers, a cure for something out of this. You never know.
Sorry, go on.
Go on.
No.
I was just going to say, I'm just fascinated by the whole thing and the way that an animal can evolve like this. It's such a fundamental thing, the immune system in almost all animals, all vertebrates anyway.
And that far down in the ocean bed, there are fish living in volcanic vents, which make the water and normally would be inhabitable. I can usually say that word. I just read the whole column, by the way, without any mistakes, and I can't pronounce uninhabitable. Completely hostile area that life isn't supposed to exist. There's no light. It's too hot. There's all these chemicals in the water where life shouldn't live, and it makes us have a better understanding about how life can survive in places where they shouldn't. So when you're looking at these dark crevices of Mars, they're like, well, maybe, just maybe, because it's happening down here. It's genuine. Cool. I like stories like this. Wicked. No need for me to science the fuck out of this because it's been done, yo.
It's sciencey enough already.
When I finish this podcast, I'm going to go and grab my wife and be like, "You're with me now forever."
Meld with her.
I should be looking back and going, "What are you saying?"
Yes. Get the fuck off me, Whiteley.
Well, there's potential there for a sci-fi or horror story, isn't there? Like if I don't know, you could stretch the science a bit, and like some guy injects himself with the T cells of an anglerfish, which enables him to meld with women. You know, what a horror story!
Angler Man and just goes away for the weekend.
Just goes fishing.
And the next thing you know, the guy who spent £100,000 on his sex robot walks in, and he's become some sort of cyborg with bits of the skin and the bits of the body all attached to himself. He got his dick hanging from his arm. It's just like this.
And it just keeps repeating. You are wonderful, Alex. You are wonderful, Alex. You are wonderful, Alex.
I'm half anglerfish. That's what's happened. This has been a great show, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have we got any shout-outs to do, Lucy? What are you up to over the next week or so?
I'm going live through Joke Pit starting next week. So all my shows will be available through jokepit.co.uk. And also I'd like to do another shout-out to our amazing listener, Sam, and her mother, Susie Q, who were over the moon by our shout-out. Do you remember we got sent that story about glory holes being the best sex in Canada? Somebody else got sent that, and somebody I know got sent that by a Tinder date. So I'd just like to say hi to our new friend Andrea, who's listening, because we just wrapped up this topic, and then I went on Facebook, and then someone went, I just got sent this, and I was like, how is this the one story that's hunting me? You know, for a while I had crocodile stories hunting me on Facebook. Now it's like Canadian glory holes. Really? What are my analytics saying?
The reason why I sent you that story is because you had a rough week. You were like, man. You'd lost your pet, and I was kind of like, here, have something to completely fuck with your mind, and you did a great job of it. I will say again, hi Sam. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Shane, what have you been up to, mate?
Well, I've been busy, as you know, doing other podcasts as well as this one, and we're doing a podcast as Cosmic Rays on Monday. Now, is this Monday or last Monday?
No, that was last week. Is the Monday just gone?
That's last week. Yeah. So that'll be coming out, and also, Cosmic Rays are going to be, this is exclusive, we are going to be launching our own podcast, the Cosmic Rays podcast, which I suggested to the guys in our last chat and said, why don't we just do a Cosmic Rays podcast? Because we're always getting together on Zoom and talking about shit, and it's usually quite entertaining, and we could get other artists involved.
Can you see the influence I have on the world, by the way, guys? The influence I have, they're like, we should get the Cosmic Rays.
It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. I want royalties, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, at least free tickets to your next gigs, yeah.
Yeah, it's all your fault, Alex. None of this would happen without you. And as I've already announced, I'm also doing the Icecast, which I'm hoping to launch next week, which is going to be interviews with famous comic artists and writers.
Ice skating. Who saw that one coming?
I can't even ice skate at all. Never mind.
Hello and welcome to Geeks on Ice.
Oh, if I could, I would. So a busy next couple of weeks for me. Yeah.
Good. That's nice to hear.
Again, we're sending all our love to Graham and his family. Hope they're listening, and just know that if positivity and good thoughts can help, we are sending you as many things as possible.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we love you, man. It's been a busy week, and I've got so much love for that guy, so I'd happily push everything to one side just to help out.
And what we'd like to say to 2020 is hands off our Graham. How I feel about 2020. Stop it.
Yeah, stop right now. And as well, I was on the radio, by the way, this week. Did I tell you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was on the radio.
What have you done?
He's reading the
weather. A big shout to Matt Connaughton and the guys there from Matt Connaughton Unleashed. It's a show I started listening. I found them by chance on Facebook. It's just a radio station in Manchester, a radio show on WMNH. Manchester and New Hampshire in America. And I started listening to it live. I really enjoyed it. They're really good. So I started on the comments, and I messaged him afterwards, and I invited him on on what's the difference. And he was like, okay, I'd love for you to call in so we can get like a British perspective on the whole COVID-19. What do you guys think? And I threw the question around to him as well with us. And it was really nice to chat. I don't talk politics normally, but it was kind of fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so
Nice one.
So thanks for the invite for that, guys. Good. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me this week.
Our pleasure. I've been Shane Chebsey.
I've been Lucy Orchard.
And I've been Alex Whiteley. Let's get the fuck out of here. Peace out, guys. Take it easy.